So hello and welcome to today's Scriptcase by Jamie video, and as you see on my screen today we have the update. It was meant to be here last week, but well, we know how sometimes it goes with that testing, making sure that everything is good before Scriptcase deploys to our development environments. And of course, now you have the choice to upgrade in Scriptcase. And of course, you want to go ahead and do that. I've literally just done mine, so then you will have the new version 9.9.015 at the top here, and that is very important because it does come with a new production environment. And as it says here, to provide an efficient and secure experience. With this new release, 9.9.015, we made improvements to the libraries, removing obsolete ones, and updating the others in older versions. In other words, a load of scripts have been removed, some have been replaced, and well, that means also in some of your code, you may need to make changes. If you are using any of those scripts within Scriptcase that are provided part of the development environment, i.e. the jQuery libraries, for instance. And of course, we can check here a complete list of those libraries. So we have here updated jQuery mobile, jQuery plugin, the Google API, and TinyMCE. Now with each of those updates will come updates to those scripts, because the scripts typically have updates themselves, they have improvements, and that along will improve Scriptcase. Now there have been a load of them removed, so check that out. We have the chat API, cool.js tree, load of jQuery mobile plugins, more jQuery, OmniPay, Symfony, TinyMCE, oh, and the list goes on. So there have been a load of libraries removed, and if you are using any of these libraries, you will need to make adjustments to your application. Now, at this point, it is important to note that you do want to upgrade. You really do. I know you want to avoid it, and I know maybe you don't, but you do want to upgrade. If you have version 9 of Scriptcase, this upgrade is for free. You will get the production environment as well as the updates to the libraries for free. It is all part of security, okay? And that is why you will receive that for free. Any of the other new additions, well, I'm sorry, you will need to upgrade your license or update your license so that you are within your license term. For now, get this upgrade, update your projects, and yes, you will need to redeploy. Now with this upgrade, there come quite a few changes, and I did create a video over on the Scriptcase channel a week or two ago, and you can go and check that there. And of course, there was a live webinar, and there is always a live webinar, always. So if you don't know about that, check those out. Join, of course, because we share a lot of information there about what is going on in Scriptcase. So this upgrade also includes new additions to the password recovery. And we see here, we developed this functionality to enable the password recovery process. Okay, so with the password recovery, this is something new that has been added to this update. And with that, you will be able to recover your password for the development environment so much easier. Okay, so that is definitely a welcome upgrade there. And we have automatic updates which have been applied to the production environment. So remember, the production environment is the main part of this update. As it says here, a new production environment. That is not the entire development environment you are using of Scriptcase. There are some libraries and scripts that have been updated, and yes, that will make a difference. But the production environment, that is the back end. So I will go ahead and show you that again, and then we can have a quick look at that before we carry on with this update. Okay, so let's have a quick look inside of Scriptcase, and if I access one of my projects on my upgraded version of Scriptcase, you will see that first of all of your applications will be outdated. Okay, now that is important to note because remember, some scripts have been removed. Now that should also improve the performance of a lot of these applications that you have created, because of course less scripts and faster scripts means faster applications for us. So by opening our project, we can see that all of our applications are outdated. It is important that you go ahead and generate all of your applications. Okay, so I will need to regenerate all of them again, and I could skip this step if I am going to deploy it straight away as well, because if I go ahead and deploy, it actually gives you the option to generate all of your applications if they are outdated. So I could have skipped that step and just come to the deploy straight away, and from here continued on. If I start here with the typical, just very quickly, within here we can see that we now have a new option to generate a page containing a link to the initial application. Now you want to check that. Okay, if you are redeploying your application, then maybe you don't need that. But this is a new deployment. I have not deployed it yet, so I am still needing to set it up. And for that, I will want to generate this page. Okay, and that will avoid one of those horrible Google errors which pops up randomly on some platforms and some servers and says, well, this looks like it's fishing or something. But there's no fishing involved because there are no fish, there are no rods, and there's definitely no lake or ocean. Okay, so in this case, it is entirely Google, a pain in the rear. But to resolve that, we now have this generate a page containing a link to the initial application. That will ensure that wherever you deploy your platform, you will not have any issues. Okay, now it's also important to note that we have now here the language. Now I have multiple languages displayed here, and the default language for this project is English, and that is why English is selected by default. All of the other languages are also available within my project. So if my project is only in English, I will only have English available. If I have Spanish, Portuguese, French, German, and Italian, which I have available within this project, then this project will have those languages available, as you can see. Okay, so once you're ready, you can just go ahead and click next, and there you can then deploy to wherever you want to deploy to. Okay, it's that simple. And when you're ready, you just click next and off you go. Okay, so before we check out the deployment, because I'm still copying the files over right now, let's check out some more of the updates. So as it says here, we also have a new production environment interface, and the interface will make it a little easier for you and smoother, of course, to manage those databases. There is also a password recovery built in, as I had just mentioned, the automatic updates for the production environment, which is awesome, meaning the production environment can be updated within the back end of your project, which is really cool. Okay, so we have also compatibility checking. Now, this may be a little confusing at first, but the idea of this is, of course, that within Scriptcase, you can deploy multiple projects to the same server, and all of those projects can use one production environment, so one backend. You do not need to deploy your production files for every single one of those projects, just one. And then with that one, you can manage all of your other projects and databases, APIs, and so forth. So that is definitely worth checking out, and possibly something I will create a video on later. Now, are you ready to use the new production environment? Well, that is a good question, and I would imagine if you are running version 9, then yes, I would think so. There are videos there and some guides, so you can check those, as well as, of course, remember, chat support is available for you if you need. Now, if I check the Scriptcase changelog, because this is a very important thing to do every single time, and we see at the top here, this banner has not been updated yet, so do ignore that. We just have here the version number, and that is then also available up here within the downloads. You have there the changelog available, and you can always access this, or of course via the Scriptcase development environment. Now here you can see the first upgrade. Now this is an upgrade. You do require an upgraded license to use these new upgraded editions. For everything else here, you are receiving this for free with version 9, and you will have the new production environment, you have the new security features, as well as a more secure platform that you have deployed. So do be sure to check out these, and there are quite a few fixes this time around as well, and some of those may be of interest to you, so do check those out. Okay, so I just got all of my files deployed, and wow, that took a little while. Windows extraction process, oh my god, it's so slow. So now you can see here I am on my local environment, and this is now the first page we now receive once we deploy our project for the first time. And this page will then give us access to the option to create our connections for the first time. Now, it is important to note before I continue on that each of these pages, so the first page as well as now the create connections, would be displayed in your default selected language. Okay, so now that is important to note. So let's go ahead and create our connection, and we first need to add here the default password, which is Scriptcase. Okay, so that's always Scriptcase on the first login, and then once we have done that, we then need to go ahead and set ourselves a password. And of course, we can set ourselves now also a help, well, an email address to recover. Help, yes, my help email address, but an email address to recover your email address. Okay, so I'll add my email address in here, and that should then hopefully from now on always recover my password. And now do also notice that we have applied now also these password restrictions. So we are required to have a minimum of 8 characters, upper and lowercase, at least one number, and well, your passwords need to be the same. Once you're ready, just click the update button, and there we will then have our new production environment. And now we have a bit of a difference now, the way this is set up from previous, because you can create new connections up here on the left. You can edit connections, you can rename connections, and we have here the pending connections. And the pending connections are for connections which are available within the project but have not yet been set up. So I have this pending connection, I can click on that, and it will now allow me to configure that connection. And then with my username and password added there, I'm able to access the databases available on the server. So here I will choose the relevant database, save that, and then as it says, the deployed application makes caches of the connection. When changing any data in the connection, remember to close the browser and open it again. Now you don't really have to do that. I think pressing F5 is really enough already, and that will refresh the page. So now if I come here to production settings, I do need to configure my PHP time zone and so forth. And like you see, the production environment is looking much nicer than it did previously. And of course we can apply here our temporary files directory, our cache directory if we want to configure a different directory than our default, and for our applications directory also. So if we have multiple projects deployed, I can define that project here, indicate that path. So in this case, it could be sctest2, and that is then where my second project would be deployed without the production files. And then once that production environment is available, I can come here to incompatible applications. I will have the environment available here, and I can check, making sure that all of these scripts have been updated. And if they haven't been updated, we can ensure that, well, our production environment is updated. Okay, so we have here also the option for API, password recovery settings, and all the usual bits and pieces that are here. So that is not really anything we need to worry about or anything new. Now, other than that, that is it. We are still waiting for the menu. I'm waiting for it like everyone else. So please you know, hold your fury. I totally understand. But at the same time, do please understand that this is a production environment, a development environment. You create your platforms in this. And of course, I'm very sure that you want to have the securest and safest platform possible. You don't want bugs left, right, and center. And changing a menu system, which is integrated with all of your applications on the majority of cases, well, you will want to have that working correctly. You don't want that being buggy. So have some patience. I'm very sure it will be coming soon. So that is it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you like this new update to the Scriptcase environment. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If there's any questions you have regarding this or anything about Scriptcase, just ask them in the comments. I don't mind replying to you there. And if it does really need a consultation, I would advise that. Otherwise, of course, I will just happily send you an email with some very basic instructions. And of course, if you do like the content that you are having or seeing or watching here on the channel, then please give it a like, and of course, subscribe, hit that notification button, and then you'll know when there's new videos like this one, and be updated on what is happening with Scriptcase, where we are today, and of course, learn some new skills within this amazing development environment. So thank you very much for watching, and keep watching Scriptcase by Jamie. Yes, that is me. And until the next video.